Welcome to Limited Appeal. Today we're looking at Quick Draft for Avatar, The Last Airbender Limited. We don't do a whole lot of quick drafting, but I find it fun to sort of look at it when it comes out and see what the bots are up to and what kind of interesting strategies you can come up with, because bots tend to do the same things over and over and over and over and over again. And my understanding right now is that blue and white are heavily undervalued by the bots, which we may or may not see in this round if something like Air Nomad Legacy comes back, or, I mean, there's nothing else that's really strong in those colors in this pack, unfortunately. It's going to be hard to tell, but Ren and Shaw is a very easy pack one, pick one. It's a great place to be if you wind up going lessons, and even if you don't go lessons, it's still honestly a body that can close out games pretty quickly if your opponents don't immediately remove it. Obviously, if somehow Firebending Lesson or Tiley come back, fantastic. And if not, it is what it is. So the other thing about bots, right, is that they are very aggressive rare drafters. So after like pick 2, you typically won't see any more rares. So like, and signals tend not to matter as much in quick draft. So we're kind of just trying to pick the things that make the most sense to us. Like, they do matter. Like, obviously the bots have like their whole color drafting approach, and this is how I would assume it works, but like, they don't seem to be the best at it a lot of the time. So anyways, we could take Azula and pass the Lightning Strike, which obviously goes well with our first pick, Ren and Shaw. But Azula is in and of herself also really good. We don't know if red is going to be open enough for us right now. And I would basically say taking Azula here seems like it could be worthwhile as well, just to see where we potentially wind up. If we wind up getting more black and blue, then Azula is great. And if we wind up getting cut off in red, then Azula is great. We're just going to take it and see where that leads us. I don't think losing a Lightning Strike on pick 2 is really the biggest deal. And then we see a Team Avatar is probably the best card in this pack. But there is also a Firebending Lesson hero, which goes really well with our Ren and Shaw. There isn't really any blue or black that we want. Jong is also really good. He gets a lot better, obviously, the more lessons you have. Because, you know, you can duplicate your lessons when you choose to exhaust him. But we don't have any lessons yet. We're going to want lessons. But I'm not going to take Jong early over a Firebending Lesson. I would take Jong over a lot of other things, though. Okay, so this pack has some good blue stuff in it. And it has a jet as well. So with Ren and Shaw, you could wind up Boros. You could wind up blue. You could wind up green. Or you could wind up blue and green. There aren't nearly as many lessons in white. I don't think, at the very least, not many playable lessons in white. I guess there's Airbending Lesson, like 3 tricks, yep. The one that untaps, and Avatar State that I can think of off the top of my head. Blue has some really solid lessons for you, and I don't know, it's tough. This is a tough choice, because I really like Jet. Jet can like really blow out your opponents if he comes down. But at the same time, Knowledge Seeker is just a super solid creature, especially if you have like consistent ways to draw to. Boomerang Basics, for the same reason, is a really good card. Like, this is a really tough pack to take cards from. It'll be interesting to see if anything wheels from it. I personally like red-white in this format a little bit more than I do red-blue. I think that red-blue has a higher ceiling on how good the deck can be. But I think that a good red-white deck is just going to win out more often on its consistency than a lot of mediocre red-blue decks. And again, we aren't really committed to anything here yet. But also at the same time, like, the Knowledge Seeker would work well with Azula as well in the case that we don't wind up playing red. I'm just going to take the Jet. I like Jet more. Alright, and we're immediately punished for it. I love it. So this is where we could either go Boomerang Basics and then start getting some more blue. We could take the Kyoshi Warriors, and that fits in pretty well actually with red white. Fire Nation Cadets works really well too. Like, these are probably the two best commons for Boros. Kyoshi Warriors is just such a solid 4-drop, and it has a lot of synergy with other cards in the set that we may or may not get later. And Fire Nation Cadets is obviously just amazing in and of itself. I kind of like Fire Nation Cadets a bit more for us because we kind of want to focus on picking up some lessons, and I'm not committed to white yet. Okay, and then we have a Gran and no red. So, technically speaking, if we went blue right now, we could still play Jet. Jet can still be played in an Izzet deck. It's a little bit of a pain to cast, but it's still very much playable. Waterbending Lesson is good too, but I think Gran is just objectively better than Waterbending Lesson in most decks that she winds up being played in. Messenger Hawk is pretty good too, and obviously would fit with Azula pretty well. We could also go 3 colors. 3 colors is something we do quite often. But Gran seems pretty good here. There's the Glider Staff, pick 7. Because, like I mentioned at the beginning, the bots seem to really undervalue a lot of white cards. Abandoned Attachment would work pretty well in this deck. It's so tough. Because Glider Staff is so good. And I don't know if we're going to have like enough payoffs for for lesson stacking right now. Guru Pathic obviously would fit if we wound up like playing double blue. I mean, Guru Pathic might actually be better if we're just picking something for the legend deck. Or the lesson deck. So I mean, this is one of the benefits of Quick Draft, right? We can sit here and tank on something for a really long time if we want to. We just don't have any other than like Ren and is he a good enough reason to like go focus on legend? Oh my god, I'm going to keep saying legends whenever I'm trying to say lessons. We'll just take the repower and see what happens. Okay, so that's actually good. So we see a little bit more blue now. Forecasting Fortune Teller is probably one of the best commons in the set for blue. Maybe the best common in the set for blue. Iguana Parrot is almost always playable, I think. Like, this card has done some damage for me. Master Paku I haven't seen work very well, but I'm convinced it can. Not for this deck, but in general. Oh, that's interesting. So Tylee did wheel, and so did Itlquentia. And as I called, the Air Nomad Legacy also wheeled. Okay. So Tylee lends herself to a little bit more of an aggressive deck, and Itlquentia obviously is a little bit more lesson-oriented and control-y. I kind of just like... Tylee is good most of the game. Itlquentia can, like, kind of fizzle out later when your opponents start to get a whole bunch of mana. Well, there's an Airbending Lesson, pick 10, yep. This is why blue-white is overpowered right now in quick drafting. We're not white. I mean, we quite frankly, with how good some of these white wheels are, we could shift into white pretty easily. Geyser Leaper seems like the right choice. Deadly Precision could be fine if we decided to go 3 colors. We don't have any fixing yet, and I don't really love our colors for fixing right now. Yoshi Warriors wheeled. Okay, yeah. So blue-white, you should probably just always force it in quick draft, I think. I think that's what we're taking away right now. Zuko's Exile, I'm probably not going to play that. Give me a good bomb here. Okay, you did not give me a good bomb. These are both really good. I'm sorry, these are both. This is a really good card. This is not a really good The last Agni Kai, butchering pronunciations again, is fine. It's playable. You'll usually get some value out of it. Bossing say we obviously don't have the green for it right now, but it would be an incredible card to play if we could. Like, this card can just win games by itself because your opponent doesn't usually have a way to stop your land. There aren't many cards in this format that stop land. I think Lightning Strike is probably just a safe pick though, and maybe it'll Quencha will wheel again. Is there anything else notable for us in this pack? Not really, right? Water Bender Ascension. Is this a Waterbender Ascension deck? Not really, right? Like, is any deck really a Waterbender Ascension deck? Like, if you're beating your opponent down constantly, then I feel like drawing a card most of the time isn't that great of a payoff. Sokka will just often draw you cards. Waterbending Lesson is obviously really good. But again, we aren't actually doing lessons like really hardcore right now. We have Ren and Shaw as a payoff, and obviously they pair well with Guru Pathic, but I don't know if that's enough for me to start aggressively taking these. The Cave of Two Lovers is fine in this deck. I don't think it's going to be amazing. I kind of like Sokka a lot more. Lost Days is really good too. I think this is also tied for like the best blue common with Forecasting and Fortune Teller. Yeah, I think Sokka is just going to be better in general. Then pair that with Teo or Tio or however you want to say it. We're learning that I don't know how to speak. There's not really anything else in this pack. There's no red other than Boomy Bash. Boomy Bash is actually, like, I've been really impressed with this card. It pretty much always does something whenever I wind up playing it. Otter Penguin, we don't really have an Otter Penguin deck right now anyway. I think we just take the Glider. That's a really good card. In pretty much any blue deck. Earth Kingdom Protectors doesn't do much of anything for me right now, right? We basically have like 1 or 2 allies. Okay, we have more allies than I thought we had, to be honest, but we're not white. What? See, here's my problem. I just picked Sokka and I was looking at Jet, and in my head I'm like, I see the multicolored symbols and I'm like, oh, white. That's something that we can draft with. It's not. We're not playing white. You're an idiot. I don't need a whole bunch of Idle Quenches. I've been really happy with Crashing Wave. Crashing Wave has won me many, many games that I probably had no business winning. We can also just take the Airship Engine Room, which I think is a reasonable choice too. I actually kind of like that more with how many double pips we have here. Yeah, I mean, Crashing Wave is really good. I kind of hate that we're not taking it, but at the same time, this is really going to help us fix our mana. I think Knowledge Seeker is better than Lightning Strike for us right here. I have been really unimpressed with Lightning Strike in this format. Like, it's always going to be a decent card, but it's really, like, it misses so many things that you need to hit. And I don't know, I find that it gets stuck in my hand a lot of the time. A lot more than I would think it would. And Knowledge Seeker is just always a great solid creature. We don't have, like, a whole lot of card draw right now. We have Teo, Gran, I guess, the Fortune Teller, and Sokka. So it's, I guess, Geyser Leaper too. Anyway, it's not amazing yet, but we can make it work. Qatar. Okay, speaking of making it work, there's one of the best things we could get to make it work. Abandoned Attachments is really good too, but Qatar is amazing. Speaking of Abandoned Attachments being pretty good, I think that's the pick here. It's better than Snowballers for us. And as we were talking about white, we're still seeing a whole lot of open white. It is always open. I don't think we're gonna play anything here. The Platypus Bear is like playable in this deck. I hope that we don't get to the point where it's worth playing. I will definitely play 2 Quenches, maybe not 3. And I think we're due to have another one. Wheel. Lost Days Wheel. Of course it did. The bots don't know what they're doing. Trebuchet Wheeling is also crazy to me. This card is really good. I feel like that's really interesting. You could probably just build like a really broken Trebuchet deck in this format. Barrels of Blast and Jelly I'm probably not going to play, but... Oh, Crashing Wave Wield. Okay, well, I guess the land was the right choice then. Boomerang, and last but not least, Foggy Swamp. Humans? Foggy Swamp human? Hunters. Hunters, haha. Okay, well, I mean, this is not really even a choice. It would be great if Jong wheeled. It won't. It would be great if it did. Boomerang Basics we would love. Fortune Teller we would love. Waterbending Lesson we would love. But Planetarium just wins you games by itself. Like, if this hits the board and you untap with it, or you play it after you have 6 mana, you are just at a massive card advantage for the rest of the game. Because you don't, not only do you get to play something for free off the top of your deck, you also get to scry and control what other cards are potentially coming into your hand as well. It's absolutely absurd how good this card is. Yeah, there's like a bazillion things we'd love to wheel in that pack, but based on how the bots draft, I feel like every single one of them is in red and blue or something. Rumble Arena is fine. Octopus Form is better, and then there's not really anything else for us in this pack. That's too bad. Well, I think Messenger Hop. Well, how much removal do we have? We have Crashing Waves, which is pseudo removal for return. Lightning Strike, Firebending Lesson. Lost Days, again, pseudo. Jet is there, kind of. Do we need a, like, Messenger Hawk is better for us, but the question is, do we need a Watery Grasp right now? And I think no. I think we can get by without it. Hopefully it'll quench it, will shut down some threats before they become threats. I like the Cat Owl a lot more than some people do in this format. I find that flyers can just win you games a lot of the time. I'm still going to take Abandoned Attachments here because it kind of works really well with the rest of our deck. But, oh yeah, something else that I was going to say about white being open. I see Earth Kingdom Jailers so much in Quick Draft. It's crazy. When in regular Premier drafts, I almost never see this card. So, yeah, just food for thought. Invasion Submersible is obviously the pick, though. This card is broken. Another Octopus Form, I guess? Like, I don't know if I want to play 2 of them, but there's really nothing else here for us. Messenger Hawks is good. I'll take another one, which, going back to our Watery Grasp pick, obviously. Maybe should have taken the Grasp. Parent, there's another pick 8, or I think it was pick 7 before, but here's a pick 8 Glider Staff. Waterbending Lessons and Boomerang Basics wheeled. Interesting. I think Waterbending Lessons fits a bit better with what... Actually, you know what? It fits a bit better with the curve of the deck. But we have a lot of things we can bounce for value with Boomerang Basics. And our goal with this deck is to kind of just get to 6 mana at this point. Survive for the Planetarium and hopefully draw it. And it turns out none of it mattered anyway because Watery Grasp wheeled. Cat Owl also wheeled. It'll Quench It is a pickle 13. Okay. Alright, guys. So this is interesting. We have 6 cuts to make. I think Guru Pathic fits in really well now. I think we don't need 2 Octopus Forms. Fire Nation Cadets kind of doesn't fit. I don't like Jet right now a whole lot. I don't even necessarily know if I want Rumble Arena. Or if I'd rather just have like another mountain. Iguana Parrot can go. How many creatures do I have? 12. Maybe Iguana Parrot stays. I don't know. What else do we cut? Ty Lee is interesting because I don't think she's that powerful here, but we do need ways to do damage and win games. We could cut and abandon. Yeah, we don't need 2 of these. And then the question is, do we want Ty Lee or do we want to take out Crashing Waves? I think we take out Crashing Wave just because we don't have that much in terms of creatures. Anyways, we'll see how the deck goes. Also, the ranks just reset today, so that's why we're back to platinum. Let's see how it goes. I don't know how much I love this deck, but we'll keep this hand because we do have a turn 2 play, and then we have Guru Pathic on turn 4, hopefully. Okay, we drew the land, so we definitely have Guru Pathic on turn 4. We just have to survive until he makes a big fat body on the board. Yeah, that's annoying, but whatever. And then if we need to, we can bounce something with Boomerang Basics next turn. Ooh, them not having anything there is really nice for me. Really validates that keep. They're on planes, and so they'll have removal for Guru Pathic probably. Which means that we could have waited a turn to like roll him out, but I think this is fine. I'm not too worried about them having removal. If they remove him and Ren and Shaw sticks, I consider that a win. I don't love the Beatles so much, but... So the thing is here, obviously, we could play out Ren and Shaw and immediately die. Have him get killed, probably. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand. Or we just play out Abandoned... I think we just play Abandoned Attachments here, right? And then we could discard a Mountain, or we could discard a Lesson. I think we discard... Mountain. Like, I want to get some lessons in the yard, but I don't want to lose the actual lessons that we have right now, because they're all really good. I think we drop the Messenger Hawk, because neither one of these is blocking the merchants, and then this gets us an extra card draw. Yep. You take 5. The thing is, we kind of like really need... Actually, that's sort of a perfect draw for us. I want to say we really need a way to like slow this down a bit. And that is the perfect way to slow this down a bit. Then we'll attack. We'll attack with the bird. So they have something, right? Probably more removal. Do they have more removal? Is that what's waiting us out here? And then at end of turn, we can pop the Submersible. What you got? What's Airbending Lesson? No? I mean, maybe it's an Airbending Lesson. Okay, sure. We'll take that happily. We still only have 1 lesson? Okay. I really want some Ran and Shaw value. That's what we're really chasing after here. We will happily attack with both. If they trade with the Submersible, I'm totally cool with that. If they don't trade with the Submersible, I think we just do this. And then replay the Submersible. And then we'll be able to make the Submersible turn it online again this turn. Yeah, and then they have to either replay their stuff or... Yeah, that seems like a pretty decent place to be in. Were they like stuck on? No, they can't be stuck on land. They have 5 land, right? There's the Jailer. How many do we have in here? Because I kind of want to play Ran and Shaw next turn, but I also don't want to blow the Octopus form before we do. So maybe we do this. We'll Lost Days whatever play they have if they have a big play here. 7 lands, so we can Lost Days and pop the Clue if we want to. I don't think we're going to, but we can. I mean, we could beat it with the Submersible too, then we take 5 back. I don't necessarily love that. We don't need to go down that much. And the Pirate Peddlers currently can't attack. Like, if they play out their Beetle Man, they don't really have anything to sacrifice to it. No good sacrifices anyway. They don't want to... They probably don't want to give me my Tiley back. If they attack with this, we're obviously blocking. We're dropping Rain and Shaw next turn, probably, so... Yeah, here comes Beetle Man. Which is weird, because, like, there's not even any Beetle creature type, right? Like, it's so obviously a Beetle, but nothing about the creature type says he's a Beetle. I think we can wait on popping that. So we'll pop this pre-combat, get in some damage, see if they have anything. Okay, that's actually a really good draw too. That'll deal with the Beetle when he comes back. And then we can play Ran and Shaw and have Octopus Swarm up. And then it's game next turn unless he has multiple answers. Because we have Octopus Swarm to stop one piece of removal. Then we have two of them left, and one of them I think is enough to kill him next turn. With the amount of mana we have. And the Messenger Hawk. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it'll be able to pump 3 times. So this is basically 10 damage by itself. So yeah. They need to have 3 pieces of removal. Yeah, GG. Haha. Alright. Worked out well. Randon Shaw is a great card. Great card. I feel like, and we didn't even see a quench that game, did we? We didn't get to counterspell anything. Which would have worked out really nicely because our opponents did not curve out very well at all. But I think that went about as well as it reasonably could with what we wound up keeping. And the thing is, maybe our opponent was wrong to immediately kill off our Guru Pathic. Obviously, we don't know what they had. We don't know how much removal they have. Like, Guru Pathic by itself is not scary, and from what our hand looked like, we know it was never going to get scary. They don't know that, though, which is unfortunate for them. But, yeah, if they had have left Guru Pathic on the board, it probably would have been fine. For them. Alright, oh, so somebody's already grinded themselves up to diamond. Scary. Okay, so this is not a good hand. I mean, okay, hold on. This is a good hand, but I kind of need to draw a land. We have 2 coin flips, basically. 2 coin flips to make this work, or we probably just lose. Our opponent did just mull to 6, though. So, maybe we can miss and be happy still. I'll have to wait and see, I guess. Okay, I mean, that actually does kind of solve the problem, hopefully. I mean, we can still whiff on the abandoned attachment. Okay, perfect. We did not entirely whiff. We wanted a... Actually, I don't think it really matters. I think we probably just play out the Hawk first, actually. Well, the thing is, if we play out Sokka first, and then play out Tai Li, or Guru Pathing next turn, we're basically guaranteed. We're in a very good position to draw a card on turn, just on turn 5 to start drawing cards. Yeah, let's play out Sokka first, and he can attack next turn anyway, based on their current board and based on what they'll probably play. Okay, so that's a really good sign for us too. That means they're not going to be dealing with Sokka this turn. Now we can play out Guru Pathic, draw a card. We could attack first, but I think that makes us... It doesn't make us die to Yip Yip. Is there any reason not to attack first? Are there any... There's no tricks that make this wrong. It's worth a try. Alright, give me something good. I like fire. Oh, we just lost Ren and Shaw. No. Alright, well, Ren and Shaw is now at the bottom of our deck. Let's go to the bottom, right? Yeah, put the rest on the bottom in random order. So, Renin Shaw is gone. That's too bad. They know that we have Firebending Lesson. If we had one more land, we could just blow up Sokka. Let's attack all here. Hopefully we draw the land. Monkey's paw or something. You get what you wish for, but it's never quite what you want. Do you have like Cunning Maneuver or something to save Sokka? I realized that with the way they blocked, we could have double got them, but I wanted to play around them having removal for Sokka, which I guess doesn't make any sense because he blocked wrong for that, and I didn't realize it at the time. But, you know, hindsight or something. Now you want to kill the Gurupathic? Yeah, okay. So that's what we were kind of playing around, but they did it wrong, I guess. Because they should have blocked my Sokka with their Sokka. Because I could have blown them out if I hadn't realized they did it wrong. I didn't, so it worked out for them, but... And saying it like it worked out for them is a bit of a stretch as well. It did not, like, really work out for them. So, do we make this... I think we just attack with Ty Lee, right? If they let us, we don't blow our mana. I'm fine with them blocking here. Now, more so now that we have the Quench. And then this way we can play out the Messenger Hawk, hold up Quench. That's too bad. I'm still okay with that though. Like them using an octopus form on that does not seem like the end of the world to me. So we could play this one of two ways. We could play with the Messenger Hawk and the Fortune Teller. But they're clearly ramping up to something, and I would like to be able to counter that something if possible. I don't really want a big creature hitting the board and blowing us out. Turns out they're just going to get rid of my Sokka, I guess. So this is what we want. Oh, they actually let us attack the Sokka. That's interesting. I did not think they'd let us do that. I thought they would waterbending lesson it pre-combat and then... Okay, yeah. Because it obviously doesn't tap, so... Ooh, a little bit of a mistake, I guess, on our opponent's part. Yeah, we popped the clue, potentially lost out on 2 damage if our opponent didn't let us do that, but I think getting the card there is much more valuable to us while keeping our like mana curve intact, because hitting land meant that we could play out the planetarium, and that's just way more powerful than getting in an extra 2 damage with a Messenger Hawk. I'd rather do it earlier when we have the extra mana to spare. So this deck has performed a little bit better than I thought it would so far. I always find it interesting how the quick draft queue times are way worse than the premier draft, which I think says a lot about maybe where people spend their time playing drafts. I don't usually get like 40-second queues on premier draft. I get it almost exclusively on on quick drafts though. Yeah, no, that's a good hand. It's probably the best hand we've had today, so means I'm probably going to immediately lose to some absolute absurdity from our opponent. That's what tends to happen when I get good hands. If they play something scary, we will Lightning Strike it. If not, obviously we're just going to play our Messenger Hawk next turn. Hopefully we draw something else that is like gas, or okay, our opponent is all doing something with their land? Are you all the colors? We're going to see like a mountain and a... No, just an island, okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll pop the clue right now. I don't think it really matters. Yeah. Obviously, we could have drawn like any of our 2 drops there, and that would have been pretty good. But we didn't, so there will be no quenching today. This is why I hate Lightning Strike, because it misses so many things in this format. And a water bending lesson. Okay, whatever. That's fine. We could obviously just drop Ran and Shaw here, but I don't like that. It doesn't really do much for me. We don't have any way to draw cards right now either. Like, if we wait until next turn to play Ran and Shaw, then we're in like a decent place. The thing is though, like, I kind of want to... I don't know what to do about Gurupathic. Because like we could Watery Grasp it now and then remove it next turn, or we could Watery Grasp it next turn and get rid of it next turn. Or we could choose to block Gurupathic and then Lightning Strike Gurupathic, which I actually don't hate. I like that more than getting in 1 extra damage. Obviously, I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I think it's more likely to happen now that they've played out a Badger Mole, and hopefully they attack with their Meditation Pool. Maybe not even target their Meditation Pool. Okay. And they saw right through our plan, which is unfortunate as well. Do we just kill the forest? I think we just kill the forest. And I think we don't really have much of a choice right now. We aren't drawing very well. I think we just have to play out Rain and Shot, even though he's like, there's no other lessons in sight right now, right? So, and we're in a not so great position. And if this starts getting scary and like making a whole bunch of tramplers, then we can Watery Grasp it next turn as well. I don't love where we are. We have had a not so hot draw this game. Another cycle of renewal. Okay. You're a 5/5 now. Are you just lessons? Like, are you green-blue lessons? Green-blue ramp? Like, what's the dealio? Now you're water bending. Yeah, you have a big Badger Mole. Probably going to discard here. I can't imagine them not swinging in for 6. And I mean, if they swing in for 6, then we can just Watery Grasp and get some value from that. We don't have to immediately get rid of the Badger Mole. We want to get rid of the Badger Mole because it gives everything else trample, but we don't need to do it right now. We get our own Gurupathic, huh? Okay. I mean... And we're going to play out Watery Grasp here. And we might as well play it, see what we're working with. We could get in for some extra damage here, but we're not going to. I'd rather hold up Octopus Form. Because it not only protects something, but it also gives counters to our random shot potentially. Then playing Firebending Lessons gives counters to our random shot potentially. They don't seem to be working with a whole lot of removal right now, which is nice as well. We're hitting them for at least 5 next turn if nothing changes. Probably 6. Flopsy. Okay, sure. I don't think they really have an attack here, right? Like, just chump block. And then Firebending Lesson kills Flopsy. And it leaves Quench up. Hold on, what did that just tap? Why are you tapping a bunch of my islands? Yeah, that was a weird tap. Like, I have a bunch of blue cards in my hand, and you're trying to tap all of my... Yeah, so... They definitely should have, put the counter on Flopsy there. I want to divide up these counters. If they had put it on Flopsy, I mean, obviously, they would be in a better position now. Their Flopsy would be alive. They're going to take damage. So we are in a pretty good spot now. They have 6 damage on the board. We have an Octopus Form in hand to protect our Rin and Shaw or anything else. Yeah, we will obviously Octopus Form that. Well, will we? Oh, yes, we will. Now let's see if they have something else. We need to top deck more bounce or removal or something. Or if they top deck like a Quench, that would have been good for them too. Back to basics, or no, not back to basics. Boomerang basics would work for them too. They could bounce their submersible. Actually, no, they can't because it's hexproof for the rest of the turn. Anything that if they didn't get something at instant speed, they couldn't do anything with it. That's obviously what needed to happen for them there. I'm being silly. I forget how magic works sometime. All right, so 3-0 with this deck. I'm impressed with it, honestly. Like, this is way better than I expected it to go. I have not had the best experience with Is It lesson decks in general. Not that I'd really call this a lesson deck. It's not a lesson deck. There are lessons in it. We tried to make as many lessons to get Ren and Shaw to reliably turn into 2/4/4s. That game was a pretty good example of how Ran and Shaw can just win you a game even without making a clone of Ran and Shaw, or without making Shaw. I assume that's like the sort of like lore there, right? One of them is supposed to be Ran, one of them is supposed to be Shaw. So this is a much less. This hand is much less good to me. It's kind of scary, honestly, because we don't have any turn 1 or 2 plays. We're on the draw, and then our turn 3 plays are like Messenger Hawks and Katara, which are not great against a whole lot of things in the format. But at the same time, I think that our 6-card hand could be a lot worse. So that's why we're going to keep it, and then we just kind of hope that it works out, and it appears to have worked out for us. Do I abandon attachments against this board? Probably not. Well, actually. So there was like some hesitation. There was a pause there. Which makes me think that whatever we're playing is probably going to get countered. So we'll play with the Messenger Hawk first. Save Katara for next turn. Oh, okay. Or it could be a Cycle of Renewal. Either ways, saving Katara for next turn allows us to protect her as well. And getting like protecting your Katara is a really, really, really good way to get ahead in the game, right? And then we do have the Planetarium if we can hit 6 or 7 land. before we lose. Our opponent is hopefully not going to do anything too crazy. They could play a Badger Mole here, would be pretty good. Oh, okay. You're kicking Aang's Journey. Do you have temples? Are we going to get templed? I mean, they are showing us all the colors. Oh my. Oh my. We might get templed out here. That's crazy. Okay, I've never seen this happen, so. There are two choices, knowing now that they have this, and they'll probably play this next turn. We could hold up the Firebending Lesson and kill it, but I think we'd rather just hold up the Octopus Form and then submersible whatever tokens they create this way. The worst case scenario would be basically them playing the Black Temple and then dropping this, because that would get them a bunch of tokens. Alright, I've actually never played against a Temple deck or a Shrine deck. Do we want to call them Temple decks or Shrine decks? I don't know. Okay, so they're probably making the decision not to play this out first then. They want to maximize their 1/1s. Or they just have something better to play this turn. Do we draw with Katara here, or do we just attack? I think we draw with Katara, right? Because I have nothing else that I'm playing. The amount of damage we would do is exactly the same, and this gets us an extra card. Unless we pop, or we just pop our clue. Yeah, let's just pop our clue. Well, no, because then, see, that's the thing about Katara, right? Because, like, we kind of want to keep the clues so that we can waterbend more. If we draw something good, there's so many choices. And this way we'll hit Planetarium next turn no matter what, which is nice. That's kind of what we wanted to happen there, sort of. Getting Planetarium online is pretty good. I just hope that they don't have multiple. I was gonna say, I hope they don't have multiple threats here, but that's a pretty good threat. So we'll obviously Invasion Submersible, get rid of one of them. And hopefully at some point we draw our own Ranon Shaw. We're not going to play out the Planetarium this turn now. Yeah. They can't quench this, which they probably have. If they have a, what's it called, a waterbending lesson, that would be pretty good there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can't attack, well, I can't attack with, I can attack with Messenger Hawk. And then, I don't know how I feel about this. And then we can pop the clue, I guess. If they block. If they don't block, then I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't really want to lose the clue yet, though. Because then end of turn week, well... No, I don't really want to lose the clue yet. And if they attack with Ranshaw, we can Watery Grasp. And then play Planetarium next turn, hopefully. I don't know if we're going to be able to play Planetarium ever, to be honest, because... Abandon Attach. I'm kind of really worried about them quenching it. Obviously, you can say something as well about attacking with Katara there and potentially making her bigger. Well, you want to play out the green shrine, the green temple. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think. Should we call them the shrine decks or temple decks? Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. You have some big things. I haven't seen any shrines or temples out of you yet, other than the one that's sitting in your hand, but. Two top. Ugh. You want to use the mana? Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't lie. See, this is tricky, right? Because we could play out the planetarium and then we potentially just die next turn. We can watery grasp the Shaw. Then we can kill the Boomy with Firebending Lesson and Submersible. Or we can kill the Shaw with Firebending Lesson and get rid of Boomy. How much do I have enough mana for this? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I'm one short. Which is really unfortunate. But one short of being able to kill Shaw and get rid of Boomy on the same turn. And then next turn we can hopefully, assuming we don't die, next turn we can Firebending less than the Shaw. I feel like we're in a really bad spot in general, but you know. I think they also topped 2 cards, so getting rid of the cards that they topped feels decent as well. So if they attack with the Shaw, that's fine. End of turn, or if they attack with the island, we will pop the Invasion Submersible. Obviously, I'm fine taking 4 here. Honestly, I'm even fine maybe not dropping the Firebending Lesson this turn. So they're not pumping. This isn't a dragon right now. So the kind of greedy play here, right, is to leave Shaw on the board and just start planetariuming. It's very greedy. But I also don't have a way to deal with the Geyser Leaper right now, so maybe I have to do this. That's interesting. Like, so what happens here? So if we play Guru Pathak, we get another lesson potentially. You're still swinging in for a whole bunch of damage in the air. If we get Teo, we don't technically get any blockers. I think we have a better chance of surviving if we play out the Guru, unfortunately. Like, this kind of loses to them having removal. Right. Or this is worse if we just completely whiff. So this turn we have to chump Shaw. Yuyan Archers doesn't do a whole lot for them. Other than, like, you know, draw them a card, obviously. But, like, he doesn't do much against us. Yeah, this is the unfortunate situation right now, right? Is that we have to block Shaw, because if we don't, it can just kill us. Can it just kill us? Hold on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because, I mean, we could kill the Geyser Leaper. This could hit us for 8, but then we're just dead next turn. And that would take their entire turn. Okay, they didn't pump it. Interesting. I wonder why. Are you just going to keep drawing cards, I guess? So obviously whatever's in their hand they don't like. We're just going to try to get out in front of it now. If they want to draw in response, that's fine. Then we're forcing them to potentially use all their mana now. They chose not to. Okay. It's really interesting. Because you'd think that if that was the case, they'd maybe want to pump it or something first, but... okay. So we'll do this. Need to see something that isn't land, ideally. Oh my god. Okay. Famous last words or something. Give me something good. That is actually really good. I think we just draw here, right? Right away. Alright, cool. I like it. I like it. And what is this? How much land is on the top of our deck? Holy moly. How does this work? Only once each turn. Okay. So Rumble Arena has some value for us because we can just play it out next turn. And get an extra card from it. Do we just pop our clue here? I think so, right? There's no reason not to pop the clue anymore. Maybe it gives us something that we need. It'll quench it is probably not something that we need. But who knows? We kind of just have to hope that they hit as much land as we've been hitting. Because we have been hitting some land. How much land did they hit? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They're probably not hitting land. They're probably not hitting land anymore. Alright, let's see what they got, I guess. So this can pump that. So this would do 6 damage if they pump everything. Alright, this is 2. Earthbend 2. Yeah, okay, let's see what they got. What you got? Because obviously we don't want to block the island. That doesn't really help us too much. We will trigger the Geyser Leaper here, I think. Keep it Old Quench open, even though I don't think it's going to get any value here. Drop the mountain. Let's see if they have any way to close this out. Like, I don't... If they have more temples, if they have the black temple... They don't, actually. They still haven't played a black source this game. Yeah, that works, actually. We can get rid of the island. Oh, no, we can't. I'm dumb. It's non-land permanent. Whoopsie. Whatever, we'll get rid of the token. We have ample number of blockers now. They'll get to draw a card end of their turn if they so choose. Which might suck for us, but I'm obviously not going to attack here. We still have our Ran and Shaw in our deck, so if we can hit our Ran and Shaw, that would be really nice. Because this quench will do nothing for us, I don't think, against their deck right now. Waterbending lesson, sure. What you got? We're going to go back to doing the scrying on our upkeep. Oh, I had a card to discard. Okay. Let's just do this first. See if we get a good blocker or something. We got nothing. That was basically the best thing that we could have got there, I think. Because Lost Days is a great way to deal with large lands. Iguana Parrot, and I can actually quench it! You only have one land! Yes! Success! Huge success. Sorry about the coughing. But we got there and we didn't even have to draw a land draw, which again was on the bottom of our deck. But I'm pretty sure we were very close to the bottom of our deck at that point. So where are we now? 4-0? 4-0 with this concoction. Alright, so we're going into game 5 now. We'll see if this is a 5-0 deck. I just took a little bit of a break, so I'm coming back in between games here. I find that whenever I take a break, the games that I come back to are often a disaster. So if we were going 5-0 before, when I take a break, I'm probably going to get screwed. Admittedly, this looks like a really good hand, so I don't know how I'm going to get screwed, but it is inevitable. Grand, a turn too late. Okay, just play the Knowledge Seeker here. I kind of want to get Grand going, and if they miss their 2-drop or they don't have a 2-drop, obviously kind of regret not playing out Grand, but if they have a 2-drop, then waiting on Grand feels a little bit better. We can't even attack in with Octopus Form. Like, I could Lightning Strike this, but that feels pretty bad too. I think if we can get Grand going, then obviously the Seeker becomes significantly larger pretty quickly. If they attack, I like that. That's good for us. Okay, sure. I will probably Octopus. Wow. Like, we could Octopus Form, start swinging in with Grand and the Knowledge Seeker, which I actually don't hate. Or we could just take it and then start swinging with the Knowledge Seeker, which I'm also fine. A little Lightning Strike here, I think. Get it out of the way. Now, we could have done that last turn, obviously, but this turn we actually don't have a play, at least based on the hand we have right now. So this is interesting because this lets us just play out our Leaper or our Ren and Shaw next turn, which I kind of like. Why does it not tap the Rumble Arena? You know what's in my hand. You know that I want some blue mana. And this obviously goes south pretty quickly if they have something that would have died to Lightning Strike, and we kind of like regret it. But the sort of dream here is to get Grand going. I don't think we'll be able to. Then we have the worst case scenario of just playing out the Leaper, which isn't even that bad. And our board has 2 bodies on it. Theirs has nothing. Admittedly, they have 2 cards in hand that we don't, but we have a lot of ways to draw right now, hopefully, between the Leaper and the Grand to filter out our cards. Well, kind of. Like, if we attack with the Grand here, right? Then what do we even discard? He's like, I kind of like keeping Octopus Form to protect the Ren and Shaw or the Leaper. Or really anything else. We could swing in Grand and the Knowledge Seeker. And then what can we do with this? Because then we could like hold the island in our hand and see if we want to discard it. I don't think we're going to get to Boomerang Basics. Okay. I mean, that's kind of good for us. It means that they're not popping off. So then what we'll do is whatever they target will Octopus Form. Then we'll get to swing in for 4 and drop either the Ran Shaw or the Geyser. Oh. Unfortunate. That is not what I was expecting. If we just play with the Geyser Leaper here, that's not very good because it just gets airbent right away. And then I guess... If we attack with both, they probably put the... Yeah, let's just attack with both and see what they do. We have options. Basic doesn't do much for me right now. It gets a lesson in our yard. Oh. Okay. I mean, do I care? We just kill Momo, this becomes a 3-3. And then we'll play out the Geyser Leaper. I think that's fine. I mean, they get to scry and gain a life every turn, which is less fine, but... at least then we can hold up Octopus Form for Rain and Shaw, potentially. I did not think that was the block they would go for there. That's really weird. The Grain's dead. I think we just do this, I guess. I'm very surprised by that block. Like, I wonder what they have that makes that good. Or if they're just planning to start beating in with the healer. So they'll probably... I mean, obviously they have 4 other cards. They could be doing anything here. But I suspect they'll airbend the Leaper. If they swing in with the healer, I think we trade with the Knowledge Seeker. I'm fine with that. If they airbend the Knowledge Seeker, then I'm obviously not going to block with the Leaper. So we binned our Boomerang Basic earlier. What does that actually... Like, what if we had have kept it? Would that have done anything better for us? Probably not, right? They could also equip the healer or swing in for 4 in the air. That would be their whole turn, and I'm fine with that as well. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not losing this race right now, based on what's on the board at least. So, we could play out the Leaper, and I think that's probably right. Because once we play out the Leaper, we can start waterbending to draw a card and discard a card. Which will make our Knowledge Seeker a little bit bigger. I think we probably do that now. Like that. You know, we have Octopus Form up to defend whatever we need to defend. And we can drop Rain and Shaw next turn. I mean, obviously our fear is that they play out something big here. Yeah, that's fine. If you swing at me with this, I don't think I care right now. Like, you can do it, but I don't think that's good for you. Depending on what you play, obviously, but... If they have, like, Avatar Form here or something, then that would be a pretty big trade and blowout. They'd gain a whole bunch of life. We'd lose our Leaper. I don't really... Ooh, Suki. Okay. Again, I'm not super scared of Suki right now. Do we just... I think we just play out... Do we just play out Rain and Shaw right now? I don't know. So we swing in with both. They potentially go down to 5. We have Octopus Form and Quench up. Doesn't seem bad. And then I could also just swing in with both of them. And keep Quench up anyway. And Octopus Farm. We could put them down to 4 if we draw the card now. Or we could just Ran and Shaw. The thing is, if I Ran and Shaw... I feel good about this because we can block this in multiple ways, right? So if they play something huge that could blow us out, it'll quench it. If they simply attack in, we can Octopus Form, and that will hopefully keep us alive. I don't see that many things to blow us out here. A Yip Yip would be pretty good for them. That would get in for 9. Not enough, but 9. Oh, okay, sure. Now you don't have a good attack. We admittedly don't have Quench anymore, but... This was the downside to it, is that I knew that I wouldn't be able to hold both up, and unfortunately one of their things cost 1 mana, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for me. I think they just can't attack here, right? I mean, I guess they can with the Compassionate Healer. They'll go up to 5. They aren't technically facing lethal. Okay, they're going for it then. Interesting choice. Okay. You go up to 5. If I find anything that does damage, you lose. Okay, that's a good one. I'll admit that is a good one. So, we swing in with the Knowledge Seeker. We're at 6. Unfortunately, if they have... Yeah, we need to drop Ran and Shaw here. So we swing in for 5 with the Knowledge Seeker, right? We can't swing in with this. There's no point in swinging in with this. Well, here's the... Actually, well, it's too late now, but an alternative line would have been to drop the Guru Pathic, and if we hit a lesson, I think we just win. Well, we don't win, but we, like, wipe their board. Which I don't necessarily like either, but it's because it's obviously, like, a little sketchy. The downside to this attack is that you can't kill both. I think, obviously... Actually, I don't even know if we kill Suki here. Ooh, that is tough. Yeah, this is a tough position we're in, unfortunately. Them having a flyer really messed things up. Oh, they're jumping. Okay, that's good. If they double blocked, that would have been bad. They can filter here. They have enough for waterbending. They have 2 artifacts and 2 creatures. I guess they like what's in their hand. Oh, this is tough. Like, I think we play out Ran and Shaw, even though it will lose us the Quench. I don't think the Quench is going to be a game breaker here. Unfortunately, like, it's like 50-50. It's really 50-50, right? The dropping the Guru Pathic lets us hold Quench up. It's probably not going to be irrelevant. Because there's nothing that we can really get off the Guru that helps us. Like, Firebending Lesson doesn't help us this turn. Lost Days doesn't help us this turn. Rain and Shaw gives us an extra blocker in case they have removal. Even though we don't get 2 of them. So if they have something like Crashing Wave here, we just lose. If they have 1 piece of removal, we live. If they have... That's really it, right? They need to have either Crashing Wave or something that deals with both of my creatures. Because they can't get in with only one of them. They need to get in with both. Or a combat trick. If they had removal and a combat trick, that could work too. He's like a Yip Yip would... if they had removal and a combat trick, specifically, then we would also... Unless their combat trick is Octopus form, in which case we would probably be fine. They go to 6. I think it's... See, this is a tricky situation as well, right? Because Geyser Leaper currently actually gives us more utility than Ran and Shaw does. We also just block with both and let them choose, but this potentially presents lethal on our turn. We'll just double block. Because we can trigger the water bending here, and I think they'll probably kill the Ran and Shaw anyway. I really think they'll kill the Ran and Shaw here. Let's find out. They did. Okay, good. That's what we wanted. We wanted them to get rid of Ran and Shaw. Just kind of counterintuitive because in theory it's better, but when they have a 4 power blocker and we can't pump Ran and Shaw, at least based on what our hand looks like right now. So that's another flyer. The glider staff is really wrecking us a little bit here. The planetarium, unfortunately, does not help us right now. And again, this is like one of those questions, right? Because like if we play out the Europathic pre-combat, we could hit a... I guess Firebending Lesson, but again, that doesn't do anything for us. Lost Days doesn't do anything for us. None of our removal, unfortunately, really does anything for us because we can't play Gurupathic and it on the same turn. So I think it makes sense to swing in with a Knowledge Seeker. If they double block, then they lose both of their guys, and then we probably just win. If they single block, then they lose one of their guys, and then we hopefully just win. It's kind of how I see this going, or hopefully see this going. Admittedly, we've also been bottoming a whole bunch of our land. Or not bottoming, tossing a whole bunch of land, so you could argue that maybe we shouldn't have been doing that too. There really aren't any good blocks here because we are presenting lethal. And if they chump it, then they are going to be perpetually behind until they draw something. Hopefully, in their case. Okay. I'm fine with that. Because then now we can get Gurupathic out. I feel like this is going to whiff. Yeah. We don't really have many lessons left in our deck, unfortunately. But now we can draw something with the Leaper. I'm not going to do that now, obviously. I mean, we could do it now. We could get another counter on the Seeker, but I'm not in a rush to do that, I don't think. This Quench is probably going to do nothing for us over the course of this game, but I still feel like it's a reasonable choice to keep it in our hand, just in case. We haven't really discarded anything that would be better than it. Like, well, I guess technically an island would probably have been better than it, because then we could drop the planetarium and start chugging. So again, unless they like have multiple removal spells, actually multiple removal, they would need removal and pump right now specifically if they wanted to win the game here. Okay, you're making your lever bigger. It's not big enough yet. You have 4 mana left. You're probably not going to attack. Oh, you are going to attack. Okay. And what trick do you have? Yep, that's fine. Not much we can do about it. So this sucks. This is the mistake if they want to playing something that's big. That's not something that's big. I'm not concerned about that. Do we just attack with both here? No, right? I mean, yeah, we can attack with both here. No, we can't. Yes, we can? No, we can't, because then they actually just win next turn. So what we can do then is do this. We attack with the Knowledge Seeker. If they block it, we can... Actually, we can attack with both, right? Because if they block the Guru Pathic, then we can kill the Leaper. And if they block... Yeah, this is fine. This is safe. Okay, yeah. I mean, if there's not really much I can do here, right, to make that better. We just kill you. And then we're in a pretty good spot. Like, we could have got the planetarium down and used the firebending lesson. That was, like, sort of the best case scenario for us if they blocked the Guru Pathic with the 5/4. Which is obviously, like, dangerous for them, but it didn't work out either way. They could have at least killed my Guru Pathic. He's like, if I have a firebending lesson, then they're kind of screwed anyway. Okay, so that's going to be a 4/4 in the air. That's fine. It has to block this turn anyway. Might as well get Teo out there. They have to block the Knowledge Seeker. And then I'm pretty sure we just win next turn. Like, I can't see one card them drawing it and winning here. Yeah, so GG. that was tricky. That was a little tough. We had to work hard for that win. Hopefully we can just breeze through the rest of them. The last 2 games, yeah, last 2 games. That would be ideal, right? This deck has performed way better than I expected it to. So this is awkward. This is an awkward hand. Because obviously we can play everything, it'll just be like a turn light. We can play Rumble Arena on turn 1, hope to find an island, in which case fantastic. Or we can be greedy, put down the mountain, and then leave Firebending Lesson open. Either way, we keep it, because we can play everything, more or less. Well, that's even more awkward now, isn't it? I don't like Momo. Momo's annoying. But if you have nothing to follow it up with, then I like it a lot more. He'll probably do the two mana 1/1 make a 1/1, right? That's what this deck basically always does, I think. Yeah. Invasion ready for it. That one. Yeah, you just have a bunch of 1/1s and oh gosh. So this is annoying, but it's not crazy right now. Like it's going to be. Because obviously we play Katara here. There's not much value. We're going to take at least 5 damage next turn, which is awkward and unfortunate. But if we get past that turn, if they don't remove Katara immediately, then I think we're in a really good spot. Yeah, it'll just come down to if Katara stays safe, I guess. Teo's actually really good here, too. He's just a big fat body. And it is relevant that he draws those cards. So they, even if they attack, oh god, there's the map. Yeah, great, fantastic, amazing, you got her. I take 5, yeah, we go to 10. They had to have the removal. So now we have choices, right? If we play out the Teo, I think we just do this, and then we can leave Firebending Lesson open, and the Momo. Sorry, and Firebending Lesson for the Momo, and Octopus Form. Now, if you have, like, really? You do? Damn, son. Alright, well. Awkward, but now we're taking less damage, and that is relevant. If they want to trade the Momo with my Knowledge Seeker, I think that's good, because we have Katara on board. And then Teo comes down next turn and hopefully shuts Momo down. Yeah, so that's good for us. Please draw. Okay, that's actually fine, too. I mean, why would you... Oh, you have to tap like that. Damn, okay. That is at least moderately awkward. I think we just play out Teo then. They didn't have any way to stop us last turn. It would really suck if they draw a removal for Katara here. But I obviously need to get Teo down. So we just have to hope they have nothing off the top. Cool. Perfect. So now we're in a really good spot. We can beat in with Teo. Hold Katara up to Waterbend. Ooh, that's actually pretty good too. Is this Leaves? Yeah, that's Leaves. There isn't really a good target for the Submersible right now. I think we honestly just get rid of Geyser. Do we get rid of Geyser Leaper here? Because I'm not going to play it this turn. I'll probably play out the Hawk this turn and leave up Octopus Form, which is kind of important. The Invasion Submersible actually maybe just get rid of that. Like, what? It doesn't really do anything for me right now. Geyser Leaper will do more next turn if we draw land. Unfortunately, I can't draw an extra card with Katara this way. But I can draw... Oh, no, I can, because of the clue. I forgot the clue. Okay, perfect. This is better than I thought it would be. I don't really care that we go to 6 here. Next turn we'll have a big blocker in the form of the Hawk. And I don't think they're going to get through, especially since we're drawing extra cards every turn now. I just start swinging. I think I just start swinging in with everything, right? I don't care so much for Gran here. Boomerang Basics can still do some stuff for us. We'll put a token on the Teo here. Sorry, on the Hawk. We'll put Teo's token on the Hawk, is what I meant to say. And when we play out the Leaper, and that blocks their Momo. And then we have Octopus Form and Boomerang Basics in hand, and that feels pretty good. So they get to scry or make food or get... I don't see them putting a +1/+1 counter on anything. But they're at 6, and there's really no way for them to probably pull out of this. Yeah. Alright, 6-0. They had a really, like, fast start, but they didn't really follow up on it, which was really good for us. There were probably some, like, cool, great things in their deck that could have destroyed us, but we never saw them, and that's what matters most. This is a really long video today. I think one of the things about Quick Draft specifically is just the fact that like you can spend a lot more time thinking about it, which I guess maybe makes for longer videos. And we're playing a slower deck than we usually play. And the queue times are a lot worse than they usually are. Maybe I should start editing these or cutting out the load time so you don't have to listen to me speak while I awkwardly make up things to say, you know, during the search for opponents. We are being thrown back into gold 1 for this match. Yeah, this is a good hand. Turn 2 Knowledge Seeker is always a great start, especially when you have ways to protect him. Is this leaves or dies? It dies. Especially against white, because white isn't known for just like removing things immediately in this format. Neither is green. Okay, yeah, sure. That's fine with me, I guess. We're going Boomerang Basics or Knowledge Seeker. Hopefully we draw an island. Perfect, we'll replay it. And now we're in a great spot. Obviously that could have gone worse if we didn't draw the island, but, you know, sometimes you gotta risk it. Yeah, that's a little awkward, but... So now we could play out Katara or Teo. I think Katara makes more sense because our Teo isn't going to get to attack. We could also play out Sokka, but similarly our Sokka isn't going to get to attack. Or Katara, at least if she stays on the board, and they'll need to have double removal because Octopus Form will start drawing us cards next turn, and that will make our Knowledge Seeker big. And they will probably immediately try to kill Katara, because if you let a Katara stay on the board, it's just not good for you. And if you attack with the wall top sentries, that's also not good for you. You have like Rocky Rebuke or something, that's fantastic for me. Oh, okay, Aang's Journey, sure. Sure. That is good, especially if you're getting a plains. You're not searching for another color, which is interesting. My turn, huh? Okay. So if we play out Ty Lee here, then we don't get to draw. If we just attack here, then we have the choice of drawing and trading with the sentries, which I think is pretty good actually for us. And then we still have Octopus Form up. So yeah, we'll swing in with the Knowledge Seeker. If it trades with the sentries, fantastic. If it doesn't, whatever. Now we get a clue, and we get to take out their sentries, which is great. And we still have Octopus Form up. No thank you, sir. I mean, it still dies, which is unfortunate, but I want those sentries out of here. And Katara is in a better spot now, because there isn't that much white-green removal that's going to hit Katara when she's the only creature on the board. Especially when she has 4 toughness. Because they can't fight it now. Okay, Okay, so this is a little less obvious what we do. Because, like, we could play the submersible 1, 2, 3, 4. We only can waterbend for 5. But that gives us some nice tempo. The downside is if they have another Razor Rings, then I get kind of punished for that. We could play out Teo and start beating down with Teo. Then next turn, if they, like... See, this is what's awkward, right? Because, like... I could draw a card with her as well. Just do that. That doesn't seem good either. I think we maybe just play Teo and pass. And then next turn we can start drawing more cards. Because both of these are out of range of Rocky Rebuke right now. We aren't going to make any attacks. I don't want Qatar to get Razor Ringed. Kyoshi Warriors. Sure, now if they have the what would effectively now be a 1 mana double fight spell, then that would suck, obviously, but we will let you beat in for 3, that's fine. So now we have choices, right? Because we could... I don't think we want to play Random Shaw quite yet. We swing in with Teo. We see what they do. Maybe this is where they play Razor Rings. So I think we just drop Tylee here, I think. Yeah. I mean, Tylee blocks... I mean, Invasion's Merciful blocks the Kyoshi Warriors too. So let's drop the Tylee. This way, if they have Razor Rings, they will probably use it now. They've been leaving it open, so they may not have it then. Or they're baiting me. Who knows? We may never know. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. It's funny because I was actually going to bounce that, but I guess it doesn't really matter if I bounced it or not. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if I bounced it or not. Now we can play with the Submersible, and they don't really have a good attack into me. And we can get Sokka out. And then we can also turn the Submersible on. Yeah, that's a good one. Not gonna lie. Or do I just take... No, we block here, right? And then if they have a trick, they can't replay their captain. If they have Razor Rings again, that's fine. I don't care that much. It is getting really awkward, though. Like, they're... Next turn, they have, what, 6 mana, so they spend 3, then they have 3 or 4 open. They're potentially swinging in for 8 next turn. I think maybe we, even though I don't want to, I think it might just be correct to play out Ran and Shaw here. That leaves us with what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we can draw. Because like they're playing off the top of their deck now, and we have multiple ways to draw. So as much as it sucks to not get extra value out of Ran and Shaw, I also need blockers right now, and we can start making Qatar bigger. Okay, so that's perfect for us. We'll take 4 if they swing in with everything. I'm not too worried about that. They did not swing in with everything. Yeah, it's a little bit late for you, but what can you do? So in a perfect world, we want to tap Qatar on our turn to get some extra counters on her. That's awkward because they are going to be able to pump everything next turn. And if she's tapped out, that's not good for us. So maybe we just draw normally off the clue. But what happens? What happens if they swing in for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13, 16. We have 2 blockers. We can stop 11 of it. Yeah, I think we just do this then. As much as I want to keep the clue around to make waterbending easier, Gurupathic is a good draw, actually. A very good draw. Because now we can keep Quench up. Oh, come on! Planetarium was the next card, and we hit nothing somehow. Alright, whatever. We're not going to start beating it with Random Shot either, because our opponent is on... Hell yes, I will definitely quench that shit. And I think we want to make Random Shot... Well, actually, this turn specifically, we want to make Random Shot bigger. Because they can't pump up anything this turn, and that's just a good blocker. So we can play out Rumble Arena here, see what's coming, make a decision then. Lost Days is really good, actually. And that's really good, actually. Because now we can all of a sudden just take out their White Lotus reinforcements, right? So we can start beating in like this. Then on whenever we want to draw with Katara, we can. Or we can just draw with Katara now. No. We want to do it like this. Two, 3, 4, 5. We have 7, 8, 9 land and 2 extra land. So 11, yeah. So we can just do this now on our turn, right? Our opponent really likes emoting, huh? And then this gives us some pretty good blocks. Out of nowhere. Oh, they're even attacking with the White Lotus reinforcements. Interesting. So whatever, so we can do this. And then Katara lives. Unless their last card is like hexproof or something. In which case, then I get blown out. But, you know, what can you do? So now we lose Gurupathic, but all they have left is a 4/4. That's a blowout. I think that's a blowout. We'll hit them with the nice because they've been so emotive with us. This is maybe a little aggressive, but I think it's fine here. Yeah, okay. GG! We did the 7-0! That Lost Days came in at the right time. Perfect time. Lost Day or Lost Days? I don't remember if it's plural. I guess it probably makes sense for it to be Lost Day. So anyways, I guess that's how you draft a 7-0 deck in Quick Draft. Cool. This is what it looks... Oh, it is Lost Days. Okay. Even though you're only really losing 1 day. But, you know. Planetarium, the one time we hit it, I think it won us the game. But realistically, we never drew it or played it. Katara definitely carried her weight. She did a really good job. Gran never got any action, I don't think. Did Gran even draw us a single card? I think she might have drawn us like a single card. When I ran her into like a 2/2 and a 1/1 blocker or something weird like that. Watery Grasp. Again, I don't think we really played with... I don't think we It'll Quench Ya did almost nothing for us across all of our games, but it 100% saved us in the last game. Because if that Flopsy had hit the table, we would have probably lost. So even though it didn't perform amazingly in general, we also just never drew it when we needed it, unfortunately. It'll Quench You is really good, though. What else is there to say? Nothing. I think the deck more or less speaks for itself. It's just a solid Izzet deck. It's not heavy on the lessons. It's just solid. Good cards. 7-0. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check back for almost daily content. We do our best to make it daily. It's not daily yet, but it will be soon. Anyways, have a good day, everyone.